Hello, I'm Kasunathagoda, and this is my final presentation for the CYT275 Authentication and Access Control. Today, I'll be presenting on how authentication and access control related to cloud deployment models. There are three main cloud deployment models: public cloud, which is managed by third parties like AWS or Azure, and this is shared by many users across the world. There are multiple data centers deployed in all over the world, so users have accessibility from anywhere. This model excels with economy of scale as the cost is borne by multiple users or organizations. This model is open to anyone from a single user, small business to huge enterprises. Private cloud is exclusive to one organization in most cases, which are huge enterprises. Mostly they have to bear the total capital expenditure and limited to themselves. It is not shared among others and it offers more control and often higher security as it's not exposed to the open world. Hybrid cloud, which is a combination of both public and private clouds for flexibility, but also added complexity. Hybrid cloud offers flexibility of expansion in the private cloud to public cloud for different reasons like disaster recovery, high availability, and offsite backup storage solutions. Each model has different implications for how authentication and access control should be applied. Authentication, if a user is allowed into a system or not. For this, we can verify who a user is, like using a username password, or biometrics like face recognition of fingerprints. Access control, which is what a user can do after they are allowed to log into a system. For example, reading files or changing settings. In cloud, we can define it as the scope of abilities they can perform in the cloud. These concepts are crucial in cloud environments where resources are shared, remote, and often accessible from anywhere. So all the processes can be streamlined. Authentication methods vary in strength and use. In cloud environments, we often see passwords, multi-factor authentication, OAuth, and single sign-on. But in the background for service authentication, we can see access tokens and keys too. In public clouds, SSO and MFA are especially important to secure widespread access to different geographic locations. Private clouds may use stricter internal controls as their environments are not exposed to public internet. However, still authentication need to be private and should be managed in trust model as the threats are not limited. In hybrid setups, it's critical to sync identities between systems using identity federation. So users only need one secure identity across platforms. This ensures to manage two platforms through a single entity for easier manageability and adaptability. Access control answers the question, once you are authenticated, what can you access? The most common model is RBAC or role-based access control, giving users permission based on their role. The administrators get the highest level of access while interns get the read-only access, which is based on their responsibilities according to their roles within the organization. Other models include attribute-based access control, which uses characteristics like department or location. If a user working from home, they might need more access rather than a user working from a corporate office. A marketing team user might not need access as an IT department user needs. Likewise, public clouds rely heavily on tools like IAM policies to ensure access rules, because IAM policies can fine-tune the access control from tenancy level to resource level. This makes much easier to manage the access control. Private cloud also relies on RBAC as well as federated IAM policies. Hybrid clouds must unify access policies across environment to avoid gaps or overlaps. Without proper controls, there are serious risks. A famous example is Capital One breach. It is related to misconfigured IAM permissions, a common issue where users or systems have excessive or unintended access. Second, the lack of multi-factor authentication, especially for admin accounts, can allow attackers to log in with just stolen passwords. Third, in hybrid cloud environments, there are a problem called identity sprawl, where users have multiple accounts across systems, making it difficult to manage access consistently. Another major issue is inconsistent policy enforcement. If rules in the private cloud differ from those in the public cloud, it creates security blind spots. Lastly, many organizations lack proper audit trails, making it hard to detect or investigate unauthorized access. These risks show why strong identity and access control strategies are absolutely critical. Uh, the best practices to reduce those risks are like multi-factor authentication. It's a must, not just for admins, but for all users. It drastically lowers the risk of account compromise. Apply the principle of least privilege, using models like RBAC or ABAC to ensure users only access what they truly need. Use identity federation to manage user identities across hybrid environments. Tools like Azure Active Directory or Okta help centralized authentication. Always log and monitor access attempts. Cloud providers offer tools like AWS CloudTrail or Azure Monitor for real-time tracking. Automate access reviews and implement time-bound permissions for temporary access or sensitive systems. And finally, adopt a zero trust model where no one inside or outside your network is trusted by default. Together, these practices help secure cloud system across deployment models. To wrap up, authentication proves identity and access control limits what users can do in different cloud deployment models. These two concepts are essential to securing cloud environments with the increasing threats in the cyberspace. Each cloud model, public, private, or hybrid, require requires a tailored strategies as their deployment characteristics are unique. By combining strong identity management, smart and tailored policies, and continuous monitoring, organizations can protect and their sensitive data and users in the cloud. And that's about it. And thank you very much.